The word spirituality is, let's say, overused in today's society. I mean, it's ascribed to just about anything non-physical. If you go to yoga class, you go camping, you go, I got really spiritual this weekend. And it can be confusing to the individual because spirituality should be something special or unique or highly elevated. So is there a way we could define spirituality? I mean, is it something, could it mean something non-local or it's something non-physical? Is this the way we could say it?
Well, first I would say it's typical of this time that everyone wants spirituality. It didn't exist 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago. People didn't talk about spirituality that much. So it's a special time for a spiritual revelation. But nobody knows what spirituality is. And spiritual is something opposite from our nature.
But we have a lot of people in our society saying, I know exactly what spirituality is. You attain it this way. I sit on a yoga mat and I meditate and I attain this, this universal force or tap into it. So they say this, so...
How do you know it's like that? Nobody knows. Precisely because there are so many views, it's a sign we don't know what spirituality really is.
But can't the individual determine? Can't somebody through their senses determine if they're...
Well, I know, I only know one thing. I live in nature, which is entirely egoistic. It's all about absorbing, receiving for me, for my own benefit. There can only be something else that I know can exist, the opposite of that.
Okay.
Because in the whole of nature, we always have plus and minus, something in its opposite. So if our nature is all about receiving, absorbing, then there is something opposite, which is all about giving, emitting. And that is probably what we can define as spirituality, as opposed to our nature, our place, which is called corporeality.
So any, then, imagination or invention of something spiritual within that receptive state can't be spirituality. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
No. We can't imagine what spirituality is because we're all just within the nature of receiving, absorbing only into us.
So you're saying that the spirituality does in fact have parameters or a quality to it, and that is giving.
Opposite from our own.
So opposite for our own. We can't actually ascribe a quality to spirituality. We can just say through negation it's opposite or different than our own.
We can't even know what opposite means. If I know only about darkness, I don't know what light is. If I know only about sour, I can't know that there is something else that says sweet.
So then the individual, all these individuals that ascribe different paths or different methodologies to attain this are speaking from a place where it's impossible to know.
All a lie. It's a complete lie. Nobody knows what spirituality is. That's why there are so many views. And to this day, we don't know. Out of all these methods, we don't know what spirituality really is.
So then how does globalization, bringing these methods together in something like, I mean, we could talk about something like New Age, which is basically taking the world's traditions and fusing them together in these new hybrid belief systems and methodologies. Are we getting to a point closer to defining and to...
No, we can't. There's nothing we can do with it. Because what turns out is that, again, we work with our own substance, our own heart, our own desire, our own brains, which are all about the desire to receive, the corporeality, the reception, and not giving. We don't know. We don't have that software, that ability to know what giving means. There's got to be some alien force here from the spiritual dimension that will come to me and give me the spiritual nature instead of my current nature. And if we knew how to invert that inclination to the opposite, to giving outwardly instead of inwardly, both in our desires and in thoughts, then we would go to a completely different dimension of sensation, to perceiving what's outside of us, and then call that spirituality. But you can see that people are escaping it. They find all kinds of things. They take antidepressants, they take drugs, they
feed the animal
they
more,
go into these,
change,
meditations. They find all kinds of things. You see, look at the economic crisis and all the crises. Everyone's saying everything's fine, yeah, we're coping. They don't want to see the bad. you.